You've done everything right. You've visualized with perfect clarity. You've written your affirmations until your hand ached. You've cultivated gratitude. You've tried to act as if. You've maintained a positive mindset with every ounce of your willpower. You've followed all the rules of manifestation, all the steps of the law of attraction. And yet, silence. The promotion went to someone else. The relationship remains just out of reach. The abundance feels like a distant dream. And in that silence, a devastating question begins to echo. What am I doing wrong? You start to wonder if it's all a lie, or worse, if you're somehow fundamentally broken, unworthy of the very things you desire. I need you to listen very closely. You are not broken. The law of attraction is not a lie. You have not been doing it wrong. You have simply been missing a piece of the puzzle, a deep, profound, and often deliberately ignored piece. A secret that lies not in the light of your positive thoughts, but in the shadows of what you refuse to see. Today, we're going to talk about the real reason your manifestations are failing. We are going to unveil the shadow work secret. This will not be comfortable. It may challenge you. But I promise you, understanding this is the key to unlocking a power and a flow you never thought possible. But to find this key, we must first have the courage to walk into the darkness. Welcome back, conscious creators, to Xendai. This is one of the most important explorations we will ever embark on together because it addresses the single greatest frustration on the path of conscious creation. The feeling of doing everything right and getting no results is a deeply painful experience that can shatter one's faith in themselves and in the universe. But the truth is, this failure is not a verdict. It is a diagnostic. It is a sign pointing you towards a deeper level of inner work, a level that most teachers of manifestation conveniently skip over because it's not as simple as just thinking positive. Today, we will integrate the full power of our quadfecta blend to illuminate this hidden terrain. We will delve into the profound psychological framework of the shadow self, first brought to light by Carl Jung. We will explore the spiritual necessity of integrating our darkness to embody our true, whole light. We will touch upon the metaphysical law of polarity and how you cannot experience the light without understanding the dark. And we will even explore a quantum perspective, understanding how your unacknowledged, repressed energies create powerful interference patterns that can literally cancel out the signal of your conscious desires. This is the masterclass in manifestation they never taught you. It is the secret that turns frustrated seekers into true, empowered creators. It all begins with understanding the powerful, invisible force that is secretly running your life. So, what is this a shadow? In the realm of psychology, the concept was brilliantly articulated by the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. The shadow self is the unconscious part of our personality, a hidden basement in the mansion of our psyche, where we store everything we have deemed unacceptable about ourselves. It is the home of our repressed insecurities, our secret shames, our hidden fears, our unspiritual desires, like envy, greed, or from a very young age, we learn from our parents, our culture, our religion, that certain parts of us are good and certain parts are bad. To be loved and accepted, we learn to present the good parts, our light, and to repress, deny, and hide the bad parts, our shadow. We become experts at this. We build a persona, a mask of who we think we should be, and we shove everything else into that dark basement. The problem is, what we resist persists. The energy you repress doesn't just disappear, it festers, it grows in the dark. And here is the crucial psychological secret. The shadow, though unconscious, exerts an immense influence on our lives. It projects itself onto the world. If you have repressed your own anger, you will constantly see angry people everywhere. If you have denied your own feelings of unworthiness, you will unconsciously attract situations and partners that make you feel unworthy. Your shadow self is constantly running its own manifestation program, a program based on your deepest fears and insecurities. It is the saboteur, the invisible force that short-circuits your best intentions. You are consciously affirming, "I am wealthy and abundant," but your shadow, holding the deep-seated belief that money is corrupt or "I don't deserve it," is screaming a much louder, more powerful signal into the universe. You are driving with one foot on the gas and one foot slammed on the brake. But why is it so vital from a spiritual perspective to turn around and face this shadow instead of just trying to outrun it? This brings us to the profound spiritual imperative of shadow work. All great wisdom traditions, in their own language, teach that wholeness, not just goodness, is the path to enlightenment. The goal is not to vanquish the darkness, but to integrate it, to bring it into the light of your awareness and love. This is the true work of spiritual alchemy. The ancient alchemists sought to turn lead into gold. This was not just a physical process. It was a metaphor for the transformation of the human soul. The lead is our dense, heavy, repressed shadow material. The gold is our integrated, whole, enlightened self. You cannot achieve the gold by throwing away the lead. You must subject the lead to the fire of your conscious, loving awareness to transmute it. When you deny your shadow, you are denying a massive part of your own life force. Your anger, when repressed, becomes bitterness, but when acknowledged and integrated, it can be transmuted into a powerful fuel for setting boundaries and creating positive change. Your fear, when denied, becomes crippling anxiety, but when faced with courage, it can be transmuted into wisdom and prudence. Your envy can reveal your deepest, unacknowledged desires. The spiritual secret is this: your greatest power is hidden within your deepest shadow. The parts of you that you fear the most often contain the very gifts you came here to share with the world. A person who has denied their own vulnerability cannot be truly compassionate. A person who has repressed their own darkness cannot hold space for the darkness in others. To become a master manifester, a being of light, you must first become whole. You must stop fighting a civil war within yourself. But how does this internal integration actually affect the external energetic reality? What is the metaphysical mechanism at play? The metaphysical law that governs this process is the law of polarity. This universal principle states that everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites, and these opposites are identical in nature, just different in degree. Light and darkness, good and evil, love and fear, courage and cowardice. They exist on the same spectrum. You cannot understand or experience one without the existence of the other. To try and live a life of only light and only positivity is to deny the fundamental nature of this reality. It is to try and have a stick with only one end. It's impossible. When you repress your shadow, you create an extreme, unbalanced pole of forced positivity. By the law of polarity, the universe, which always seeks balance, will inevitably manifest the opposite pole in your external reality to compensate. You try so hard to be nice and deny your anger, one pole, and you attract people who take advantage of you or are aggressive towards you, the opposite pole. You try to force a belief in abundance while repressing a deep fear of lack, one pole, and the universe presents you with unexpected bills and financial emergencies, the opposite pole. Your manifestations fail because your repressed shadow is secretly inviting the opposite experiences to bring you back into balance, to force you to look at what you have denied. True mastery of this law isn't about staying at the positive pole. It's about transcending the duality altogether. It's about finding the neutral, powerful center point of awareness from which you can observe both poles without being controlled by them. It's about becoming whole. And this energetic dynamic has a startling parallel in the quantum world. This brings us to our quantum explanation. Think of your conscious desire as a single, coherent wave of energy that you are sending out into the quantum field. When you are aligned, this wave is clear, strong, and powerful. However, your repressed shadow self, all those denied fears, shames, and insecurities, is also a powerful transmitter. It is constantly sending out its own waves of energy, its own signal from your subconscious. And the frequency of this shadow signal is, by its very nature, in direct opposition to your conscious desire. What happens when two opposing waves meet? They create a destructive interference pattern. They cancel each other out. This is the quantum secret behind why your manifestations are failing. You are sending out a beautiful, coherent wave of, "I desire abundance." But your shadow self, vibrating with a powerful, repressed belief of, "I am not worthy," is sending out an opposing wave. When these two waves meet in the quantum field, they interfere with each other, creating a garbled, weak, or completely nullified signal. The universe receives a message of pure static. It doesn't know what to reflect back to you, so it reflects back your state of inner conflict, a reality of struggle, of almosts, of near misses. Shadow work is the process of bringing that subconscious opposing wave into your conscious awareness. By acknowledging and integrating that energy, you are not destroying it. You are harmonizing it. You are taking the two opposing waves and bringing them into phase, into coherence. You are turning a destructive interference pattern into a constructive one, where the waves amplify each other, creating a signal of immense, unified power. This is when manifestation shifts from being a struggle to being an effortless, inevitable unfolding. You have aligned your entire energetic being, light and shadow, towards a single, coherent outcome. This journey into the shadow is the hero's journey. It takes immense courage. As you hear this, what is one quality that you were taught was bad or unacceptable that you might be willing to look at with more compassion now? Perhaps your anger, your sensitivity, your ambition. Sharing just one word in the comments can be a powerful act of reclaiming your wholeness. So, how do we begin this profound work in a safe and practical way? Here is a simple, foundational shadow work exercise you can start with. Find a quiet space and a journal. First, identify a projection. Think of a person or situation that triggers a strong, negative emotional reaction in you. What quality in them irritates, angers, or disgusts you the most? Is it their arrogance, their laziness, their victimhood? Write it down. This is often a direct clue to a quality you have disowned in yourself. Second, find the shadow within. Ask yourself with radical honesty, is there a time, in any small way, that I have ever acted this way? Or, is there a part of me that is terrified of being seen this way? Or, is there a secret part of me that wishes it could be this way? For example, if you are triggered by someone's arrogance, perhaps you have repressed your own ambition or fear being seen as proud. If you are triggered by someone's laziness, perhaps you have denied your own need for rest and play. Third, dialogue with the shadow. Write a letter to this part of yourself. Ask it why it's there. What is it trying to protect you from? What does it need to feel seen and safe? Don't judge its answers. Just listen with compassion. Fourth, conscious integration. Find a healthy, conscious way to express this shadow energy's positive aspect. If you discovered a repressed ambition, allow yourself to take one small, proud step towards a goal. If you discovered a denied need for rest, schedule a guilt-free afternoon to do absolutely nothing. This is how you bring the lead into the light and begin its alchemical transformation into gold. This is the work that creates true, lasting change. The reason your manifestations are failing is not because you aren't trying hard enough. It's because a part of you, a powerful, wounded part has been working against you from the shadows. The secret to unlocking your full creative potential, to manifesting with a power and grace you've only dreamed of, lies in the courageous journey of turning inward, of embracing your wholeness, and of integrating the very parts of yourself you were taught to hate. Shadow work is not a one-time fix. It is the sacred, ongoing art of self-love and self-reclamation. It is the path that dissolves the interference patterns, harmonizes your energy, and transforms you into a clear, coherent, and unstoppable force of conscious creation. Stop fighting the parts of yourself that are crying out for your love. Your greatest treasure is buried in your deepest wound. It is time to bring it into the light. If you are ready to embark on this courageous journey of wholeness and unlock the true secret to manifestation, then this is just the beginning of what we have to share. Please subscribe to Xendai and activate the notification bell for more deep dives that integrate the full spectrum of human potential. Thank you for your courage. Now go and meet your shadow with compassion.